So hey my YouTubers and everyone in the world, today is September the 3rd. The time is now 1:09 p.m. guys. It's going to be a beautiful Friday all day. If you're new to my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and that notification bell so you can see more of me. Now today's topic is going to be 5 common mistakes that new partners make when they first get together. These are the mistakes that most new partners make. And I'm going to throw in a bonus tip for you guys today. Now, the first mistake that most new partners make is that they're not properly communicating with one another. I feel like it's so very important to properly communicate with each other. A lot of times when people first get into relationships, they feel like they don't want to talk about certain things because maybe they don't want to offend the next person, or they don't want to turn them off, or whatever the case may be. But you guys have to properly communicate with one another. If your new partner does something that makes you feel uncomfortable, or something that you felt was kind of disrespectful, then I feel like it's really, really important to address that. This way you guys are on the same page, and you guys have an understanding of the things that your partner likes and the things that your partner dislike. Don't feel like if you hold it in that things are going to get any better. You have to open up and just be blunt about it and say what it is. Now, the second common mistakes that most new partners make, guys, is they take each other for granted. And I feel like this one is so important. Like, a lot of times when you first get in a relationship, you're doing the best you can to impress the next person, impress your partner. You want them to feel good. You want them to like you, and you want them to respect you and adore you. But taking your partner for granted after a while is really a no-no, because if you're giving them less attention than you normally would have, or if you're just not complimenting them the way that you used to, or just showing them that love and affection that they need, then eventually they may start getting depressed about it, or maybe they may even start looking to other people for that type of attention that they're lacking in that relationship. So never ever take someone for granted, because the moment you do, and the moment you feel like you got them, that's when you start to lose them. Now, the third common mistake that most new relationships that happens in new relationships is that they bring other people into their relationship. Like, I feel like this one is golden as well, because when you start to bring relatives, when you start to bring friends, when you start to bring other people into your relationship, that's always a recipe for disaster. Like, to be honest with you, I feel like when you are in a relationship with your partner, whatever goes on between y'all two should stay between the two of you. So when it comes to, opening up and letting other people in on your business, and they start putting stuff in your mind, they'll start making you second guess your relationship. They'll start making you think that, maybe this is not the person that you're supposed to be with. And that happens because you're opening the door for that to happen. Once you start telling other people your business and they start putting their 2 cents in, that's when it becomes messy. So I think that it's really important for you guys to keep other people out of your relationship, and don't feel like, you got to tell other people what's going on. Like, sit your partner down and have that conversation with them and see how they feel, because it's only you two in a relationship. No one else can tell you guys what's best for y'all. Now, the fourth common mistake that new partners make in relationships, guys, is not spending enough time together. And this goes back to in the beginning of a relationship, when two people first meet. Of course, they spending time together. They always with each other. They love each other. It's like peanut butter and jelly. Wherever you see A, you see B. But then what happens is, when people start to get comfortable in relationships, sometimes they don't feel like it's important to spend that quality time with their partner. And I feel like that is important, that quality time, that bond, that relationship, that connection. That's something that needs to maintain. So never get to the point where you stop spending as much time with your partner. You want to spend time with them, get to know them, because remember, every single day that goes on, there's something about us that's changing. So that's why I feel like it is important to have that relationship, and to have that connection and that time together, for two people to stay strong. Now, the fifth common mistake that most new partners make, guys, is having too high expectations too fast. Like, I feel like this one is golden too. A lot of times when we first get into new relationships, like, we do have high expectations. And then when people are not living up to those expectations, we get disappointed. But you can't expect someone to live up to an expectation that may be unreachable. You know, maybe you being a little bit too hard on that person. That's a possibility. Because when you have these high expectations and they're not being met, you start to get disappointed, you start to get discouraged, you start to get turned off, you start, looking at other people thinking like, maybe I should be with this person, but that may not always be the case. Maybe your expectations are just a little bit too high. Now, the bonus tip for today, guys, on one of the most common mistakes that new partners make is asking too many questions about the past. Past relationships, past situations that happen. Like, I do feel like it is important to know, who your partner is and what they've been through. But it has to be a level of respect. There's certain things that you just shouldn't ask each other. Like, oh, well, how many partners have you had? I feel like a question like that is really personal. To me, if you guys were not together at that point in time, then why even concern yourself with something like that? As long as the person that you're dealing with hasn't been with like too many people, or as long as they're respecting your relationship, maybe they in the process of changing their lifestyle, to ask those type of questions, it really is personal and it's a turn off, to be honest. Questions like that are just like, you shouldn't ask those questions. And I think I'm going to vlog about some of the questions that new partners should not ask at some point in time. But yeah, so asking too many questions too fast about the past and constantly bringing it up in that throwing it up in that person's face and just making them feel like telling you was the biggest mistake possible, that's going to cause a wedge between you guys. So watch the questions that you ask and don't ask questions that you really don't want the answers to. I hope that these 5 common mistakes plus that bonus that new partners make really opens your eyes to the situations that go on and how to avoid them. And if you guys can relate to any of them, leave some comments down below and let me know what you think. Until the next video, guys, peace.